5 years before he was part of securing the AUKUS agreement, Richard Marles spent 24 hours on a submarine in a bid to understand the importance of the strategic asset. On Monday, as Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister, he will deliver the most significant military review in a decade to prepare the nation for uncertain times ahead.
So this is 2018 when I was on HMS Rankin.
A lone photo capturing his underwater voyage hangs proudly on the Defence Minister's wall.
I'm in a small boat where we've just literally got off from there, and this is taking a photo back at HMS Rankin.
24 hours beneath the waves left their lasting impression.
For me, this was about getting an education as to why submarines mattered, and I think I learned a lot.
That education cemented his view that strengthening Australia's underwater capability was essential for the security of the nation and the region.
Submarines, really, of all the platforms that we have, are the ones that place the greatest and the biggest question mark in any adversary's mind. They give pause for thought. In that sense, that is something that we need to have right now. In a non-war environment, we need to be having deterrence in place so that we don't find ourselves going to war.
A spend of more than $300 billion on nuclear submarines has drawn criticism of its scale and timeframe for delivery, most vocally from former Prime Minister Paul Keating.
Labor has got all the big ones basically right in the 20th century, but this one is where we break the winning streak.
Richard Marles tells Sky News he informed Mr Keating of the government's intentions.
I have a high regard for Paul Keating, and I've been keen to keep him abreast of the thinking of the government.
But would not be deterred by his opposing view.
There are going to be criticisms of others, and that's completely fair enough. We live in a free society, and we expect that. But we will continue to make our argument to the Australian people about why it's so important that we walk down this path.
Ahead of Anzac Day, the Deputy Prime Minister has paid special tribute to those serving beneath the seas and those who will join them in the years ahead.
You're working in a completely unusual environment, in a very complex machine, and if something goes wrong with that machine, then you're in a very dangerous and precarious situation. These are very brave men and women, and we should definitely be thinking about them on Anzac Day.
The Defence Strategic Review will recommend a streamlining of programs, more missiles and fewer tanks, and at least upon its release, will receive, in principle, bipartisan support.
We'll be constructive in working through that with the government. I think it's important that there is a level of maturity of debate about this.
If we need to protect our connection to the world, we need to have a capacity to project, to make our contribution to the collective security of the region in which we live. And a nuclear-powered submarine is front and centre in terms of that concept.
The review will be made public on Monday. Cameron Redden, Sky News, Canberra.